day 22. It's the beginning of the fourth week of my trip. I'm here in Illinois and at a campground, state park, that I was the only one in last night. I'm over in the tent section, and those tend to be less populated than those sections of the state campgrounds that have utilities.
So begins day 22, week number 4, heading to Springfield, Illinois. First stop, Lincoln's Tomb. Pay respects to one of the greatest presidents of the United States and a great person overall, based on all the history that I've read. It's breezy today. Does that come as a surprise? No. Keep hoping that one of these days spring will sprung and we will have calm, sunny temperatures. But it doesn't seem to come very often on this trip, and it doesn't look like it's going to be today. Hopefully tomorrow. It's 8:48, and I've got all my heated gear on, and I am ready to go. Got 92 miles to go to Lincoln's Tomb down in Springfield, Illinois. I always have a fondness for riding motorcycles across bridges or through tunnels. Don't know why. Even little ones like this. Little creek. I've traveled over 6,000 miles on this trip. When I went to camp last night, I was only a half a mile or so from the 6,000 mark and forgot about it until now. It's 6,013 miles. High water mark was 4,050 miles plus or minus. So I should have less than 2,000 miles to go to get back home. And the route out was further south, so I don't think I'm going to break the 8,000 mile mark on this trip, but who knows. I do need to get an oil change and a filter change here in the next couple hundred miles. So I've got to decide how I'm going to do that. I brought a filter with me from home, since they're not the easiest thing to find. So I have that. Just need to find a auto parts store that has the motorcycle oil, and a pan that I can either borrow or buy to do the oil change. Illinois River. St. Patrick Memorial Bridge. A little more substantial bridge, a more substantial river than the last one I just passed. Interesting. So the river is split in two by an island. Wow, that's a big river. Well, I guess there's no mistaking where President Lincoln's tomb is. I saw that he has his presidential library and museum here in Springfield. Here in the heart of our country, on the edge of the city he called home, is a final resting place of President Abraham Lincoln, his wife, and 3 of their children. Downtown Springfield. Springfield was a great place to visit. Between the Lincoln's Tomb, the museum and library, as well as his historic home where he lived for over 17 years before he became President of the United States. They were all very well done, and I enjoyed each one of them quite a bit. The museum had a holographic presentation on the importance of presidential archives that lasted 8 to 10 minutes, and it was extremely well done. I couldn't tell in the beginning whether the narrator was a real person or not. In fact, couldn't tell until the very end when he started to evaporate and they changed the background scene. So not only were his surroundings holographic, but he was too. And it was also realistic that at least I was sitting in the front row, I couldn't tell. It was just incredible. So I'm headed to Weldon Springs State Park. It's about an hour northeast of Springfield, where I'm going to stay the night, hopefully. Tomorrow it's up into Indiana, where there's a national park I may go to on the Lake Michigan shoreline. I think it's called the Indiana Dunes National Park. And then over into Michigan is the plan. I haven't done a lot of riding today, which is probably the first time in quite a while that I spent less than a couple hundred miles of riding, which is nice. So I've enjoyed the day and being off the bike a little bit.